Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. The word is already out on this show. It's one of the worst shows of the year, even worse than last week. And I said last week, that Raw was awful. That show was terrible. But, it's hyperbole, at the end of the day. The worst Raw of all time. There's a lot of bad Raws. I mean, there was a lot of bad Raws back in 1995. There was a lot of bad Raws in 1996. There was a lot of terrible Raws this year, and there was a lot of terrible Raws last year and the year before that. I think that what it was is that last week it just really was exposed with no Roman Reigns, no Braun Strowman. Like I said, you might give Roman Reigns and you might give John Cena shit, and you might give a host of others, shit at the end of the day. It's like, the WWE needs stars, and whether you like Roman Reigns or not, when he comes out there, it's very true what they say. He gets a reaction, and suddenly those reactions are gone, and all you have is a bunch of fans complaining about how shitty the show is. Funny thing is, we're getting wrestling matches, which the Smarks like, right? Isn't that what they want? Less talking, more wrestling action. Well, you're getting that. There's plenty of matches on the show, but are we? Maybe, just maybe, are people not really admitting to what really makes a wrestling show? Maybe subconsciously they've realized that maybe they need a little bit more than just great matches and great wrestlers to have a good show. Maybe it takes a bit more than that. And maybe because WWE's on such a grand stage and they're the only game in town, I think they're getting very much exposed, and people are realizing just how fucking bad they are right now. And it's bad. I mean, it really is. They've been bad, but like now without some of their stars, and they have so many people on the injured reserve list at the moment, and Roman Reigns is out indefinitely with his situation. You're really starting to see that this is a company that's in dire straits. So let's take a look at this show and let's see exactly just how bad it was. So Ronda Rousey and Natalya are getting ready for a match against Nia Jax. And Natalya doesn't get started. The Riot Squad comes out. They end up putting Natalya through a table. And the thing is, it's like I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, everyone is going to forget about this spot by the end of the show. They're going to forget about it by the time the segment even ends. And I think back, remember when the Dudley Boys were putting women through tables? Like, when Mae Young went through, Trish went through the table. Those are, moments talked about to this day. But, see, the thing is, it's all about build-up. It was all about consistency. Week after week, show after show, Raw and SmackDown, Bubba would obsess about, putting these women through the tables, and then suddenly, when he finally got his hands, and they would tease it, sometimes he wouldn't be able to do it, he couldn't get his hands on them, and then when finally, after Trish was teasing him, and he was, they were getting heat on the Dudleys would finally, they took Trish and just powerbombed her through the fucking table, and it was a great moment. And I'm saying, here, no one's going to remember Natalya going through the table. They're going to forget about it. It's already been forgotten about. So, Ronda Rousey's going to find a new tag partner. Sasha Banks and Bayley are ready. Oh my God. It's like we just were going to have a women's match. And, and now even more women on the show. And I'm saying, okay, fine. It's not like the men are doing much better, but geez. And not only that, but they repeat the same segment they have from last week with Sasha Banks and Bayley in another open forum. And one overly excited plant in the audience asks, what will you do to change the women's division in 2019? Isn't that the same question that the overly excited plant asked last week? I was like, I mean, you talk about copy and paste. I mean, damn, like they didn't even try to hide the fact that it was like the same exact segment, doing the same exact, asking the same exact questions, the same exact wrestlers, and Alexa Bliss is conducting it once again. And what do they go on to say? Sasha Banks goes on to say with Bayley that, you know, they want to be the first ever women's tag champions. Yeah. No. I mean, they have enough problems even managing this fucking division. And they're going to go ahead and have a tag division with these girls. So we go ahead, we have a match. It's Mickie James and Alicia Fox, and they do this like weird thing, like, you know, like Alexa Bliss is not part of like Mickie James and Alicia Fox, and she's like, oh, I'm not gonna let this happen. What happened last week? You're not gonna do, a sneak attack on them. I didn't really get that, like, why is she trying so desperately to be impartial when she was supposed to be like a mega heel, when she was an active wrestler? I don't get it. And, I'm hearing rumors that, like, she's ready to compete. I don't think those rumors are true. Like I said, last week when I made the video, when I made my review, I don't know about Alexa, if she's going to be coming back anytime soon. When you get that many concussions in the short time frame, it screams Daniel Bryan. It screams Paige to me. It screams your career is coming to a close. And I don't want that to be true, but I don't think those rumors are true about her being clear and all that. Just saying, but so they have the match, and Bayley and Sasha go over, and it's like it's the same match every week. Riot Squad versus Natalya and somebody else, and Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Riot Squad, Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Alicia Fox and Mickie James, or some type of combo, and they're throwing Dana Brooke there at ringside just because. It's like this. You're already hinting at tag belts, and they're saying they're going to be the first ever women's tag champions. And it's like, and the fucking belts haven't even been announced yet. Can we also, like, talk about that for a minute? I understand that it's, like, kind of obvious. This is something that's been, in the works for a while. It's more like, I think more the fans were talking about it. Oh, the fans. Such great fans. They're like, why are you subjecting yourselves to this? And I'm going to talk about, like, some of the comments, later on in the show, and I always do this to myself. I have no choice. I have to get involved with the comments on their YouTube page because the biggest smarks of all time reside on their YouTube page. I mean, you have not lived till you've read some of these comments. I mean, my God, you want to talk about, like, nerdy, geeky wrestling fans that just, like, they live for this and they won't say anything bad about it. It's all super positive. And it's no wonder that this show is going under. Like, these are the people giving the show ratings. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Speaking about copy and paste, Dash Dawson, was it Dash Wilder, and what the fuck are their names? Whatever. One of the guys from the Revival, Dawson, has a match against Lucha House Party. He challenges them to a one-on-one match, and for some reason it's Lucha House Party rules. Which, once again, and they've been doing the same joke for like a month already. First of all, like, Lucha House Party, it's like, okay, so you put Kalisto over Ryback a few years ago, so, oh my God, like, Kalisto's the fucking giant killer. He's the new Rey Mysterio. Oh, Rey Mysterio came back, and, well, he only came back this year. What happened to Kalisto's 2017? Aside from, like, beating Enzo for about, like, a week and winning his championship, but the guy hasn't really done much. So they threw together a bunch of luchadors, put them in a faction and threw them on Raw. I guess there's no room for him on 205 Live, and they've been repeating the same fucking thing week after week. Oh, it's funny because they're able to like have their own rules. It's like, am I laughing at this? Is it supposed to be a joke? I mean, it's supposed to be humorous. Hey. I mean, I'm supposed to be, like really getting entertained by this. Like, this is the type of humor that's supposed to go over well with the audience. I mean, no one's laughing. And if you are, I mean, I think you have some type of condition. I mean, why is it's funny, they don't have to tag in and out. They have whatever rules they want. And, like, why? It's like, if everybody else has to play by the rules on this show, and if Corbin is so against, like, baby faces on this show, why the fuck is he, like, not coming out and putting a stop to this? I don't know. Am I really trying to break this down psychologically? Maybe there's something wrong with me. Then it's time for Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night. Baron Corbin has him in the ring. He awards him with a medal. Okay. How about awarding him with a title shot? Like, does anybody, like, ever think about that? Like, this is what I'm talking about. People are saying, oh, what a great year for Drew McIntyre. Was it? Was it really? Just like it was a great year for Braun Strowman? Was it a great year for Elias too? I mean, I'm kind of looking back and saying, like, okay, like, what did Drew really do this year? Like, what did he do really to, like, earn himself, like, people saying he had a good year? To me, no one had a good year this year. Like, everybody was involved in either a bland storyline, they went around in a giant circle doing fucking nothing like Braun Strowman. Most of the people that start off the year, they're back to square one, or they're back to at least where they were in, at the beginning of the year. I mean, who, like, right now, who's active, it can really say that they had a successful year, like that they did. Or maybe Brock Lesnar because of the payday he received, or maybe some of the wrestlers like Shawn Michaels and Triple H that got big paydays in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I guess you could say that those people were probably the biggest winners of the year, the people that competed at that event and got the money that they did. Aside from that, Dolph Ziggler comes out and says he wasn't invited to the Appreciation Night, so he figures his invitation must have been, lost in the mail. Drew says that he wasn't invited. He says he doesn't even meet the height requirement, so now he's turning on him. He's, now going on his own, which is a good idea because, I mean, let's be honest. I hate to say this, Dolph Ziggler is a very, very talented wrestler. I know that my subs disagree with me to a certain extent on Dolph Ziggler. But, we disagree with a lot. The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, I like those guys. I think they have a lot of potential, or they had potential. But I think when it comes to Dolph Ziggler, his ship has sailed. I mean, they fucked him up a long time ago. But then again, who haven't they fucked up? So, I mean, like I said, they fucked up Braun Strowman. They fucked up Elias. There is no bounds to who they will screw up on this roster. So, okay. So, now, Dolph Ziggler starts fighting back against Drew. And then they end up having a match. So, okay. So, Dolph Ziggler, what's in his future? Another Intercontinental title. Another guy that's been going around chasing his tail in circles. I mean, honestly, let's ask ourselves a question. Since 2012, when he won the title, the world title, when he cashed in the Money in the Bank, he won the world title, and then he, like, lost it back, to Del Rio, right? He lost it back like a month later because he was, he was too injury prone. So they punished the guy for getting a concussion, for putting his body on the line for the company, and, they never got back to the world title spot again, right? It was Intercontinental title. Every, year for him, they would award him when he was not even appearing. Then he was copying people's entrances. He was coming out to no music. I mean, Fantastic stuff, right? What and that was all this year with the, no music and everything. What an eventful year for Dolph Ziggler. Remember winning the U.S. title, then abandoning the title. What a year, right, for him. He just had such an incredible year. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, 2018, such a great year for so many wrestlers on the roster. So you would think that, of course, Dolph Ziggler, his ship has sailed. Drew McIntyre, here's an opportunity to push somebody good. He's got the size, he's got the look, he talks pretty well on the mic. Why not go for it? I mean, after all, a few weeks ago, right, he retired Kurt Angle. Remember, everybody was saying, what a great, angle that was. What a great passing of the torch that was. So, and then they just throw the statistic out at the end because Dolph Ziggler beats him. They said that Drew McIntyre hasn't been pinned all year. Is that true? I don't think it is. I could have sworn that somebody beat him. Whatever the case may be. So you go through all the trouble of having, Drew McIntyre just destroy Kurt Angle. Beat him with his own ankle lock. Have him tap out. I was like, Drew acted very well in that match, but I said, without any build, that match just felt depressing as fuck, and I didn't like it. Now, I said I would have liked it if there was a bit of backstory to it, and they didn't just kind of make that match at the last minute. Remember, they were billing Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle for the whole night. The last minute, they switch it to Drew McIntyre and Kurt Angle. So you had no time to really get invested in any type of storyline of passing the torch. But some people, they jump at the chance to try to praise anything with WWE because it's such a terrible show. You got to grasp at straws. So, why not? It was a good match. Let the fans praise it. Whatever they want to do. But then you're going to turn right around and you're going to basically... I got a little lint ball here. Just give the win to Dolph Ziggler, who's not going anywhere. And how do you win? Interference from Finn Balor. He's grinning away like a fucking dumbass. I mean, we're going to get to that in a moment. So, Drew gets his heat back backstage. Whatever's left of it, he gets his heat back, attacks Ziggler backstage. I'm like, okay, great, but the deed's already done. I'm sick of when they do that. So, he wouldn't need to get his heat back if he just kept his heat. They should have just had him destroy Dolph Ziggler if he was going to have a match with him. I mean, they didn't even have to have a match. Just have him fucking obliterate him right there. Have Ziggler throw a punch and then Drew just, fucking destroys him. What is the point? What is the point of having a pinfall victory over Drew and ruining that record, which, by the way, I wasn't even aware of. But I love how they do that. They didn't even tout that on TV, if it's true or not. They didn't even bother to tout it. It's just hey, by the way, he wasn't pinned all year, but he is now. Hey, great job. You just, not only did you ruin his streak, but you had him lose to somebody who's lost all year anyway. Fantastic. Great. Just great. So he attacks him backstage. Then we have another segment where Elias is in the ring. He's getting ready to play a song. Then Lio Rush comes out with Lashley. And he makes him do all these poses. And of course, he has him do the bend over pose. Elias gets fed up. He starts bringing his guitar to the entrance ramp, ready to fight them. Then, Leo runs away. And Lashley goes into the back. Then somebody catches Leo off screen, throws him onto the ramp, and then Elias catches him with the guitar in the back. Who is it? Finn Balor. And he's smiling away. First of all, there's so many things in this segment that fucking piss me off. Where do I begin? Well, let's just begin somewhere. First of all, Elias is doing nothing tonight. He's just doing the same old shtick, like I said, beginning of 2018 to the end of 2018. What has changed with Elias? Has he Has he won any titles? Well, no. Hasn't won a single one all year. Has he had any defining matches or storylines or feuds? No, he hasn't. He had a feud with Lashley that lasted like about 2 or 3 weeks, and well, that was like during the summer, and now the feud's back on. He had a go nowhere feud with Bobby Lashley because, well, Bobby Lashley wasn't doing any. Bobby Roode. He's been feuding with Bobbies all year, basically. If your first name was Bobby, you've feuded with Elias. So, Bobby Roode had nothing better to do. Lashley had nothing better to do. So they put them in feuds. All the feuds went nowhere. Now he's back in the feud with Lashley. Has anything, he gets the most cheers. He got the most heat all year. Remember the segment with Kevin Owens where they got booed out of the building for the comment that he made, about the Seattle Supersonics. So I'm looking at this and I'm just saying, wow. What a 2018, right? A few weeks away from the end of the year, and Elias has gone nowhere. Okay, so that's one gripe I have here. Second gripe is, they saw the negative reaction that the Bobby Lashley pose down gets, especially when he shows his ass. So they go ahead and they do it again for heat. That's not heat. That's not heel heat. That's just fucking pissing the crowd off and trolling them for no particular reason. Leo is also, not good heel heat. It's just annoying. There's a difference between being annoying and somebody brought up a good example. I forget who it was in the comments section. They said that, like, Jillian Hall had an annoying voice, but it was done on purpose. See, but, like, it managed to be annoying, but not annoying like I want to turn off my TV annoying. This is I want to turn off my TV annoying. I could barely make it through the fucking video to review it with him. But, but he goes ahead and he does it anyway. Okay. And then they cap it all off with, they gotta have Finn Balor smiling like a doofus. Like, what is up with his smile? First of all, it's creepy. Second of all, why is he smiling all the time? Like, what is there to grin about? Okay, I understand he's happy what he did. He got revenge because he got his ass beat last week. But, like, the smile is so over-exaggerated to the point of it, like, makes him dislikable. I just honestly don't understand how people could be a Finn Balor fan. No offense to this guy or anything, whatever you want to say, he's athletic, he's in good shape. Okay, it's not even his size. It's just like, what is there to like about him? I just don't see it. I guess it's just me. I guess I'm just clueless when it comes to Finn Balor, but I do not see how anyone can have an inkling of, like, favoritism towards this guy. Just, I don't get it. We had the AOP and Drake Maverick versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. First, Bobby Roode was promised a tag, a tag championship opportunity if he was able to defeat Drake in a one-on-one match. He said, "What's the catch?" Corbin says that there's no catch. Of course, there is a catch. So they start beating up Chad Gable backstage, AOP does, and then they come in the ring and they start, beating everybody up. And then, Drake Maverick ends up getting the pin on Bobby Roode. Okay, at least there was no peeing this week because the only place to go was obviously to pee on somebody. He peed on himself. He peed on a jacket, or a robe, whatever, and the only other thing is to go that route, to pee on another human being. And thank God we didn't have to fucking see that. So that didn't happen. Thank God for that. And can we just move on, basically? I can't talk about this. It's just like, fuck. After, like, the whole peeing thing, it's just like, can we just move past this feud? It just, just out of the mercy of the home viewing audience and the live audience, and just everybody who had the displeasure of having to sit through Jake Maverick and his peeing obsession, they should just do us a favor and just do away with these teams facing off. And it's like, oh my god. Like, you just can't figure out how to book AOP as a dominant tag team, and you can't figure out what to do with Bobby Roode? I mean, the guy is so charismatic. Look how he looks. I mean, you can't figure out what to do with him? Another great 2018, right, for Bobby Roode. I mean, and hasn't Bobby Roode been there since 2017, no less? Wow. I mean, you talk about fucking somebody up. Then up next, it was Dean Ambrose. And want to say thankfully people are split on this promo. But then again, there's people praising this. I'm going to take a moment here to let you guess what side of the fence I'm on when it comes to this Dean Ambrose promo. First, I'll explain it to you if you haven't seen it. So, Dean Ambrose comes out. Last week, he's getting, hypothermic needles in the ass. He's getting inoculations, as, they're putting it. He comes out wearing a gas mask, accompanied by a SWAT team that's also wearing gas masks. And, and here's the joke. Because he doesn't want to catch anything from the people again, he's taking extra precautions by wearing a gas mask. I mean, like, you want to talk about, like, taking a joke too fucking far. You people make me sick. I could smell you from out here. He starts gagging one week. Then the next week, they show him in a doctor's office getting his shots. And now they take it to another level. Like, can we get past this already? Like, they started off very, very well with Dean Ambrose, with a lot of heel heat, right? First, he started saying, that, Roman Reigns deserved what he got. He was ballsy enough to turn on his Shield brethren, even the night when Roman announced that he had a terrible disease. They mixed the, reality with fiction, and it worked so well. And I praised it right here in the video when it happened. And, sure enough, just as I said, they're not going to follow it up. And they didn't follow it up the following week. And then when they did follow up, Dean got a good shot in there. Roman gets what he deserves. Maybe going a little bit too far, but hey, it's heat, right? It's better than what they've been doing. But then the same night, they had him talk a lot. And then he kept saying the same things. The crowd's making me sick. Can we get past having, like, a heel? All the heel does is just, put down the audience and put down whatever city he's in. Oh, wow, you insulted a place in which I live. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's one thing to put down the country that you live in. But, you know what I'm saying? That works for, like the Iron Sheik, and it worked for Rusev and all that, But, like, when you put down the city or the town that the person lives in, it's like, anyone will say, just like, oh, well, you're right, things probably could be better here in this town. It's like how I am, basically. It's just, I don't know, that's so fucking, like, 1970s booking, going to a small town in South Carolina, and, hey, y'all, it really smells bad here, it's just like, what? Like, that same stuff is so fucking lame. They've been doing it for so long. Just keep it going between the wrestlers, oh, I don't like the audience. Like, come on already. And now just the audience smells out there. And, I'll give Ambrose credit. He's playing it up as best as he can with the given material. He's trying his best to make, chicken shit into chicken salad. And he's, not succeeding because when the material's this bad, like I've explained, it's like Robert De Niro being in a bad movie with a bad script. Sometimes you just can't save it. It doesn't matter how good of an actor you are. If the script is that shitty, you could play it up, but still the story and the surrounding characters and the character you're playing is just so fucking lame and terrible that it's not going to really matter at the end of the day. You're just, it's not going to go over well. It's going to do bad because it is bad, and it's set up. You're being set up for failure. So you need to be set up for success. Anyone that's like held a job always knows, like especially if you ever worked on a team of any sort, what do they usually tell you? You want to set your team up for success, right? Anybody that's been a manager, a supervisor, any sort, anybody, any experience at all, right? Don't they usually tell you that? Set your team up for success, right? Get them ready to win. Get them out there. And so what they're doing here is they're setting Dean Ambrose up for a giant failure. And how they don't see this is beyond... I mean, it's like... This is what we've been talking about this for years on this channel. And we get caught up in the philosophy. It's like, how do they not realize? It's just that they don't give a shit. That's what it is. I mean, because you even see that with the Fox deal. They don't care. They're asking for more of a sports presentation, which I don't exactly know what they mean by that. Because last time I checked that this isn't a sport. It's like entertainment and it's fake and it's not a sport. So, I guarantee you though that Fox doesn't want people in gas masks talking about how bad the crowd smells and how diseased they are. That's probably, like... And first of all, if you've been saying that same fucking joke for how many weeks now? And then, Seth Rollins sneaks attack him, but, Dean Ambrose has got the upper hand. So, okay, so at least Dean's keeping most of his heat, but my God, they gotta have him say something else already. I mean, why don't they just have him talk more about Roman and Seth and, just like talk about Seth Rollins and stuff and, keep it focused on him. Have him say personal stuff, whatever it may be, but they got to get past this already. I mean, it's ridiculous when him wearing the mask and some people thought it was funny. Like, once again, if you're saying it's funny, I have to question your sense of humor. Like, really, like, is it that juvenile? Oh, he's wearing a mask. Like, context? Like, it's just stupid is what it is. It's dumb. I watched this and I just look at it and I'm saying like, what the fuck am I watching? This is just like, I'm embarrassed to be watching it. It just looks dumb. It sounds dumb. It's dumb. Alright, so moving on. What else we got here? Oh, Baron Corbin earlier tonight says to Rhino and Heath Slater to meet him out in the ring. We'll meet each other out in the ring. One of them is going to get fired tonight. So they haven't done anything with these guys all year. So let me get this straight. So they proved themselves on SmackDown back in 2016 with some funny segments. Rhino eating cheese and crackers. They proved that they could be entertaining, right? They got a little small push with the SmackDown tag titles. Then Heath Slater, I don't know what it is. I guess, he writes on Instagram, we were the team captains back in 2016. We're not even at Survivor Series. And I don't know what it is, but, well, he finally got a match. And I saw that Zack Ryder wrote to Heath Slater, it's over, man. Like, and Zack Ryder knows, like, once your time comes and they're not interested in you anymore, you're yesterday's news. They ain't going to use you. But, sure enough, here is Heath Slater and Rhino, one-on-one to determine who will be fired from Raw. And we're going to talk about fan reactions and on YouTube, the people that write shit. And it's just so fucking funny. And I'm not going to name any names. If you want to go and check out my comment, you could go do it. Sure, go ahead. Check it out, Anyway, they have the match, and it's only a minute. Heath Slater wins with a neck breaker. Rhino is out of a job. And then the segment just ends. Now, off air, Rhino cuts a promo saying his farewell to the audience. I think, whatever it is, I don't know if he's going to get back on politics. He's retiring. Somebody writes on YouTube, wow, what a great way for Rhino to go out on a high note. And, he's been trying to get into politics, and this was a great send-off for him. Funny thing is, the person who posted this comment is a female. She posts on the WWE videos a lot, I've noticed. And of course, a bunch of beta males. Oh, it's a female. So they voted up 625 likes on that comment. That's pretty substantial. I've seen more likes, but that's pretty substantial, I must say. I've gotten quite a few, likes. I've gotten, like I think I once got like 300 likes for what I wrote about Drew McIntyre and Kurt Angle. A lot of people agree with me on that video. And so, I basically said, like, how can this be on a high note? Rhino, the former ECW, I didn't write this part, but I'm just saying this part for you guys. Remember when they did the, I was going to say the former ECW champion, whatever, multiple hardcore champion, US champion. Remember during the invasion, he was like one of the guys on the inaugural brawl, he was there. And Rhino also, has one of the most famous moments in SmackDown history, goring Chris Jericho through the SmackDown set, right? And remember, they destroyed it. That's why they moved on to having the big fist, that very popular SmackDown set that almost everybody loves, because Rhino did that. That was his doing. So he should be etched into the annals of history forever. And, Rhino just looks like a star. He looks like he belongs. He's a big, thick wrestler, He may be on the short side, but, he makes up, especially now that, like, height doesn't matter, apparently, in the world of Finn Balor's and Sami Zayn's. So, I don't understand why a guy like Rhino didn't get more of a chance when they had the opportunity. But what I'm saying is, how can you say this is going out on a high note? They have not been on the show consistently. Now, keep in mind what I'm saying, because I know there's going to be a few wise asses that say, well, he was just in a Battle Royal a month ago. Hasn't consistently been on the show in 2 years, right? When it was SmackDown champs with Heath Slater. So he hasn't consistently been on the show for that amount of time. Okay? And now he's going to have a 1-minute match with Heath Slater. And he's just going to fucking, ride off into the sunset. And that's going out on the high note. 625 likes for that. Backstage, Heath Slater is handed a referee shirt by Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin tells him, well, your days as a wrestler are numbered. I'm going to keep you on the roster, but as a referee. So, okay, very interesting storyline here. You're going to make Heath Slater a referee. Okay, fantastic, right? That will definitely put the ass in the seats. That will get ratings. It's just so productive, right? And I'm sure this is Rhino, and they don't even have the common courtesy to have Rhino do it on the air. And I don't even think they posted it on WWE.com. They might have done that, but I'm just saying, you're not going to actually air the guy retiring after he gave the company so many years. Finn Balor has a match against Jinder Mahal. Why? So you brought out No Way Jose to give Jinder a win, and now Jinder's just going to go back to jobbing again. Okay, I don't know why, but anyway, the main event, Ronda Rousey chooses Ember Moon to be her tag partner, and they defeat Nia Jax and Tamina. I was an okay match for what it was. Ronda Rousey hit this crazy looking fucking knee. She looked like she was fucking flying for 1 minute. Did anyone fucking see how much height she got? Hitting a knee? Just jumping? I don't know if she bounced off Nia's knee or something, but she was fucking up in the air. I was like, Ronda Rousey's very talented. I don't know if I stressed that enough over the recent months that I've grown accustomed to her in the ring, but, whatever. But this is how you end the Raw? Just, okay, the faces go over. No heat headed into their match at TLC. Well, TLC's not Sunday, right? I think it's like in a few weeks or so. Whatever the case may be. That's how they went off the air. Just with a fucking, match. Whatever. It's like, wow. Talk about not giving a shit. I mean, the show is just bad. Flat out fucking bad. I mean, you want to talk about, like, killing somebody's push before it even gets started with Drew McIntyre. Oh, we're going to have Drew, we're going to break him up with Dolph Ziggler officially. We're going to really set him on the path. We're going to have the GM honoring him tonight, put the spotlight on him. Do we give him a world title match? No. Do we give him a big win tonight? Not even that. We have him lose. Yay! Like, yeah, start him off with a loss. Like, that's just great. I mean, nothing like having him lose on the night when the spotlight's supposed to be on him. Like, hey, everybody, he's losing to Dolph Ziggler, who's lost all year anyway. He's losing to the loser, and he's being honored because he's a winner. And by the way, he hasn't got pinned or submitted. We never mentioned this before on air, but we're going to mention it now that he finally did get pinned. I mean, it's almost like when they had Charlotte Flair. Remember when they revealed that she hadn't lost the pay-per-view all since she had been in WWE? But then they actually, like, they only said that like a few weeks before she actually ended up losing her first pay-per-view. So, like, that kind of just went out the window. Like, what a waste that was, trying to build that up. Like, oh, she's undefeated, and then she loses. Like, it was the same thing with Asuka. Remember, oh, she never loses. And then, like, 2 months into her debut on the main roster, she already lost. Okay? Like, and then, like, you look at the Dean Ambrose promo, and you're just like, when is this shit gonna stop? I mean, like, you've got two talented guys here. You're lacking in star power, so you would think you would do everything in your best ability to make sure that these guys get over in the most effective manner possible. You don't have any baby faces worth a damn. I mean, I guess people like Seth Rollins. I mean, hey, Brian, aren't you going to talk about me this week? I mean, yeah, not really in the mood, Seth. I mean, what's the matter? You don't like gas mask? Don't you get it? Dean is basically saying that the crowd stinks, so he's wearing a gas mask. Yeah, I mean, either the crowd farted simultaneously and there was a big, huge fucking atomic, gas cloud or some shit. Like, wearing a gas mask, like, for the sake of a joke and, to show, oh, I don't want to get poisoned. I mean, like, holy Moses, like, oh my God. Jesus Christ, I mean, oh God. I mean, oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, just, wow. This is a terrible fucking show. I mean, guys, send it right here. Slightly longer Raw review this week. Some people complained about, like certain reviews being... Because the thing is, most people don't watch them this long. But here I am, once again, doing a long Raw review for you guys. But anyway, if you liked the video, hit a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit a thumbs down and tell me why. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the content I have posted here. And this is your YWC champ. And I'm signing out.